Well, we left Salt Lake City and we're blasting down the highway headed south. We're going to go to Arches Park and look up the Delicate Arch. I haven't been there for a few years. The road is fantastic. The weather's great. Nice open road, bright sunny day. Not too much traffic. It's a little bit off season here. There is a bit of traffic coming towards us here, but it's not bad at all. We're just headed down the road. Like I said, it's a nice clear day. It's chilly and cold out though. There's snow at the sides of the road. I wasn't really prepared for how cold it gets in the mountains at night in the desert. It's very cold, but it's not unbearable. It's just amazing driving through these rock formations. I always think about John Wayne and all the guys on their horses going through here. Just fantastic. It's just amazing driving through all these rock formations. Look at the rocks to the left of us, rocks to the right of us. Just amazing territory to drive through. I'm really enjoying it. We're headed for the Delicate Arch and some beautiful scenery. We stop once in a while to make some photographs. I'm shooting mostly HDR in the desert here. Mary then blends my pictures together, decides which ones to just use the raw files and which ones to combine into HDR. Now, look at these rock formations. We just passed the Three Wise Men, that's what we'd like to call it anyway. Pulling over here to take a little photograph of some of the desert scenery. Look at the red rocks. It's amazing. There's a red rock arch just about anywhere you look. There is a lot of, even in the park, there's a lot of driving to go from vista to vista. And we spent about a week in the park. We went back into town to upload our videos and work on things and get new groceries. Here's a little panorama of some of the scenery. It's just unbelievable. It's hard to believe that something like this just happened. Geology, I don't know. Wear and tear on the rocks from the desert winds and rain and ice. I suppose there must have been an ice age at some point through here. I don't know the history of things going back past 1 million years. That predates me. We get some beautiful scenery of the rocks. Mary turns some of them into black and white images just for a little variety. Driving along here, you never know what we're going to see next. I started putting the van in second gear going up some of these hills. It really helped a lot. Everywhere you look, there's a stone arch. Up ahead, look at that stone arch off to the right. Just amazing. Took a little hike over there to get a photograph of it. Some of the arches are just absolutely fantastic. Every once in a while you'll see a camper parked up at the side of the road where people are going out on a hike to walk out to the arch or check out the surrounding area. I did a lot of hiking here. I spent many hours up at the Delicate Arch. This is called the Garden of Eden and it's just amazing. Look at the stone figurines. Wow. Just driving down the highway. I'm really happy with the way the van's performing in the mountains. It's doing really well. Since I decided to use the overdrive lock out and drive in second gear at low speed up hills, it's working a lot better. Here's the Garden of Eden in the fog. A little bit different. The fog changes the rocks. The different light. Here it's a bit overcast, but we're driving along. It's still fantastic. Again, more fog in the Garden of Eden. Look at that. Look at all these rocks and twisty-turny roads. Sometimes you're going 15 or 25 miles an hour. Really got to take your time driving through the mountains. Hang on to things and keep your wits about you. Watch that double line because sometimes people come over the other way. Beautiful scenery. The mist really helps sometimes. We stayed in the park for a few days and then we went down to Canyonlands to wait for the weather to clear off because this fog got a little bit thick. Waited for a few days and came back and then we got beautiful sunny weather. Look at those clouds up in the sky. This is from the dash cam. There's no polarizer on that or anything. It's just beautiful. Amazing. Then I'll stop and take a photograph, use a different lens. With the dash cam, you're restricted to a really wide angle lens. I can stop and use like a 200 millimeter with a polarizer, and I'll shoot 3 exposure brackets so that we can combine them into HDR, or just work on one of the files and bring it up. John Wesley Wolfe settled here in the late 1800s with his oldest son Fred. A nagging leg injury from the Civil War prompted John to move west from Ohio looking for a drier climate. He chose this tract of more than 100 acres along Salt Wash for its water and grassland, enough for a few cattle. This is a view looking up at the Delicate Arch from the viewpoint. Delicate Arch viewpoint. It's an easier jog to get to it. Now, I hiked up to the Delicate Arch. It's about 1.5 miles, something like that, and it takes quite a while to get up there. It's the longest 1.5 miles that I've ever hiked. I got there just in time for the sunset the first day, and I made a bunch of exposures. Some of them Mary's rendered as black and white for variety. It was a beautiful hike to get there, and I got some great photographs, I think. What a wonderful day it was. At the last light, some fellas were going to stay and shoot stars, but it kind of got overcast. You can see the changes in the clouds here as we stayed up there. I really enjoy the puddle of water on the right-hand side of the arch. The next time I climbed up to the arch, I went up before sunset, and I got some shots of the arch. This is shot right from a really treacherous piece of rock underneath the arch, so I was shooting up right from the base of the arch at the sky, and I got some exposures here. We planned to stay there for the star trails that night, but the arch was so close and would be out of focus, so we moved to a further vantage point and started shooting from here. It was brutally cold that night. I had on my North Face coat, 800 down, and it was still really cold. I had alpaca toque that I was wearing that Mary knit. Here's some shots of the galaxy with a rock in front of them. You can see the red light from the fellas. Some of the fellas had these red lights too, and they were lighting the arch. This is the arch lit up with some of their flashlights. This is what I was after. I'm after the star trails. I really like shooting star trails, and I sort of find the light on the rock a bit distracting, but it's a variety. Thanks for visiting Bella's Vistas. Please like and subscribe. Come on back for some more of our videos.